Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter from Brownie Culture. I am a divorce mediator and I help you create a customized divorce so that you can uncouple consciously and respectfully. So, as promised, today we are talking about apologies part two, and this is what I like to call the mother in law apology. That's not what it's called, but I call it that because, well, sometimes you need this apology for your mother-in-law. But it's not just for your mother-in-law. It is for anyone that you need to apologize to, but you don't really feel sorry for. So that could be your neighbor, it could be your soon to be ex, it could be your boss, it could be your sister in law. So if you're watching live, thank you. Please say hello and let me know that you're here so I can shout you out. If you're watching the replay, please go ahead and hashtag replay. And for those of you who are watching, even if you're not live and you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment below and let me know if you have ever, give me a number one, if you have ever been forced to apologize, but you didn't do anything wrong. And you could have been forced by, you were a child and you were forced by an adult, or it could be that you are older and you're like, if you want to keep your job, you got to apologize. Or maybe it's something that internally you're like, I got to go say something. I didn't do anything wrong, but this person's treating me crazy and I just can't have this. All right. So, I'm definitely a one. I have definitely had to apologize for things that I was like, but I think that's their problem. That's not my problem. But you still got to apologize, and it's not fun. So I'm going to tell you how to do that. Before I do, the goal of this apology, the reason why, not the goal, but the reason why you are giving this apology is because you are trying to keep the peace. Keeping peace and making peace are two different things. A lot of times when there's an imbalance of power, you can't make any peace because the person who is more powerful, like your boss, there's no peace to be made. They call all the shots, so you can keep peace. So this type of there's not necessarily an equal playing field, so you're working hard to keep the peace here. This apology, whereas the remorse apology was the gold standard of apology. If we're talking about the Olympics and I'm really upset, kind of, sort of, I understand, but I'm sad. I'm sad that there's no Summer Olympics this summer, but we're going to pretend like there are, and we're going to give these things medals. So if the remorse apology gets the gold standard, this mother-in-law apology gets the silver, and everybody else is disqualified because those apologies don't count. So this is not quite as good as the remorse apology, but it's a good one and it's useful. But you may feel like when you're giving this apology, you lack in integrity. You're like, oh, I feel like a liar. I feel like I'm not being integrous because I'm not really sorry. That's okay. Doesn't mean you're a liar. You're working to keep the peace. The goal here is not so much about making peace with yourself and remorse and things like that. It is about the well-being of a group. So if you need to apologize to colleagues so that you can all work together, that's what you need to do. If you need to apologize to your mother-in-law because she stops giving you the stank eye at Thanksgiving, that's what you need to do. If you need to apologize to your neighbor because they keep whatever, maybe you play loud music and it's 9 o'clock at night and they keep calling the cops on you and you're like, it's like 9 o'clock at night. Whatever you need to do to keep the peace, because these are either people you cannot cut out of your life or you choose not to. So you're just going to keep the peace. It's hard because when you give this apology, you are saying that this relationship is more important than me being right, because you're right? You didn't do anything wrong. All right, so let me give you the steps for the mother-in-law apology. They are the same steps, the same 6 steps as the remorse apology, except for step number 2. So the first step is acknowledge the wrong. The second step, I'm going to go back and tell you. The third step is you don't justify your behavior. There's no excuse for your behavior. Okay. The fourth step is you take responsibility and accept the consequence, even though you're like, but I didn't do anything wrong. I know. You're making the sacrifice. You're falling on your sword to keep the peace so that everybody's comfortable at Thanksgiving and Christmas or 4th of July, wherever you're all together. You do whatever you need to do to repair the relationship and make things right. So you repair any harm, whether that's just with your, sometimes words alone can repair harm, sometimes it's action, and then you give them an opportunity to talk. Sometimes, one time I was on the phone with someone, I had to give this person I forgot to bring my phone in here, but I gave this person this is called a social harmony apology. I name it the mother-in-law apology because it's funny and, it's great. But one time I had to give a person a social harmony apology. I'm keeping the peace, the mother-in-law apology. I'm talking to him on the phone and I'm apologizing for something I didn't do. Totally like overreacting. And it's number 6, opportunity for dialogue. And this person says to me, but thank you so much. And then he goes on and on and on about, and I'm just never going to change. Thinking to myself, I know you are old, but your age does not give you an excuse to be rude. But of course, I'm delivering this apology and I'm just like, okay, it was lovely talking to you. I look forward to seeing you the next time you come in town. Okay, bye-bye. I think I need to work on a little bit of forgiveness there. Anyway, so when you give somebody the opportunity to dialogue, it's the same that you did in the remorse apology, but it feels different because, you're like, but you're the crazy one. I didn't do nothing wrong. So just prepare yourself mentally. All right. So here's step 2. This is where it is different. Instead of remorse, you are going to replace remorse with regret and forbearance. Now, forbearance is not like, we're not talking about your student loans. Forbearance it has many definitions, and one of them is the ability to control yourself in a tough situation. So, right? You got to apologize to your mother-in-law. You got to apologize to your boss. You have to control yourself in that tough situation. And so it's regret. You say something like, I won't do it again. And it sounds like remorse, but it's not. So you replace remorse with regret. And in your mind, you might be like, I regret ever taking this job because you a little crazy. Don't say that. You just regret. I regret that this happened and I won't do it again. There's no excuse for me to tell you how to do your job. And then, of course, if you're me, you're like, even though you don't know how to do that, don't put that in there. And then, you just take, it was my bad. I should not have done that. I will send out an apology or say something at the next staff meeting. Thank you for taking this time. And then you just don't leave. You let them add what they want to say. It's hard because like the other apology, you have to humble yourself. And this is harder because you didn't do anything. But that's when you have to weigh, it's not just my relationship with this person, it's my relationship with my in-laws or with my sister's in-laws, right? Or with my coworkers. And that's more important. And so that's why I'm going to deliver this apology. Now, apologies, I said it on Monday, apologies can heal or they can manipulate. Please don't use this to manipulate. The point of this is not to manipulate your mother-in-law or to manipulate your boss or your neighbor. The point of this is to keep harmonious relationships the best you can. And if it's a real good relationship and there's equal power, you're not going to have to give this apology. You're going to have a remorseful apology. But you're going to give this apology anyway. My number one caveat. This is gospel truth. Listen, if you don't listen to anything else, listen to me right now. Do not tell them or tell anyone that you just gave them this apology. If you've apologized to your mother-in-law, don't go tell your spouse, well, I just gave her the mother-in-law apology because I'm not really sorry. Don't do that. Please don't do that. because your spouse will be like, well, that wasn't a real apology. And then you're going to get in the fight about how crazy their mama is. Just don't. It's our little secret, okay? Don't tell anyone. If you are a student, like you're in high school and your algebra teacher or whoever is acting crazy, they're whatever, it's their own little kingdom in there, and you do something that is not offensive, but they think it's offensive, and you need to apologize. Go ahead and apologize to them. And then, like, if y'all are cool 2 weeks later, don't tell them you weren't really sorry. Just don't. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Go ahead and drop me a note and let me know if you think you could ever possibly use this apology. And hopefully you feel empowered now to use this apology in uncomfortable situations where you need to keep the relationship going. So once again, my name is Claudia Brown Coulter from Brownie Culture. I know divorce can be scary, but I'm here to keep you calm and empowered. You're going to make it through this. You are going to do great, and I can't wait to see how things turn out for you. All right, drop me a DM if you need me, if you want to book a free call. I am available. I would love to chat with you. You have a great day, and I think I'm going to be back on Friday. I'll see you then. Bye.